All right, Mr. Berry. Well, we are live. Welcome to everyone in the chat. Welcome to everyone out there in YouTube land and beyond. It is your girl, Lena Lavish. I've been gone for a little bit, but it's been all positivity. I am here today to, bring you guys a part two to my Oxbryta story and introduce you all to a new friend of mine. His name is Barry, and I'll let him introduce himself. How about that? Let's just dive right in. How you doing?
Great. How you doing? Barry Barton here. 65-year-old sickle cell anemia,
Mhm.
um, beta thalassemia, and I too am doing very well on Oxbryta.
I'm so glad to hear that. I'm so glad to hear that. So we were actually linked up. We were introduced by way of another fellow, sickle cell warrior. Shout out to Terrence. Thank you so much, Terrence. And he thought that we should meet, and he thought right because I am one. I call myself kind of a friend collector. I love, collecting friends, meeting people along the way. And our journey just so happens to overlap in terms of sickle cell. So, as many of my folks that have watched me, people that are familiar with my story, my name is Lena. They know that I am now 39, happily married and very, successful in in the means of me being able to work in my purpose. I feel like that's an ultimate form of success, and so I'm blessed to be here because living with sickle cell is it's a monster. It's an uphill battle.
A
When
real
you
thing.
conquer something like sickle cell, you feel like you've reached a mountaintop. You know, um, and so that's why I try to bring as much positivity and love and light to all the things that I do. I lived for 36 years to be exact, having a very up and down, lifestyle with sickle cell. I was always in the bed, in and out of the hospital, all these types of, symptoms and even other offshoots of complications and things like that. And I remember being very open minded when I would speak with my doctors because I felt like I had nothing to lose. Like, what do I have to lose by trying, a new treatment or, you know, um, just a new tactic to combat what was happening in my body. And so when Oxbryta was presented to me, it's been 4 years now. Um, I thought, okay, I'll try it. And I had a wonderful turnaround in my health. And so I've had a great last 4 years of taking this medicine. So when Terrence thought we should meet, it was mainly on that point. Tell me a little bit, Mr. Barry, if you don't mind, about, your journey with sickle cell up until, you were introduced to Oxbryta.
Well, as a sickle cell patient, I did kind of well. I went 60 years before most of my friends knew I even had sickle cell because I would not talk about it to anyone. It was something I felt very private about,
Mhm.
and I just wasn't something you could have paid me to talk about. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
um, I did 4 years of college, never had an attack, so I am very blessed in that manner that I was doing well. But when I hit 58 and 59, that's when things started getting real critical for me.
Mhm.
Um, I was in the hospital every 3 months for blood transfusions. And so when I had the opportunity, it was presented to me by my hematology doctor. She said, Barry, there's a new drug coming on the market. Um, it's just been FDA approved. And I think you should try it. I said, listen, at this point, I would try anything to keep, not that I don't like you, doc, but to keep from having to come see you every 3 months for a blood transfusion.
Mhm.
And let me tell you something. It's been a real, I'm talking about a real dynamic issue in my life. I mean, not talking about positive, very positive.
Yeah.
Um, I haven't since I've been on it. I haven't had a sickle cell issue in 4.5 years, going on 5 years. I don't have the crisis pains that I used to have. Um, and but to be honest with you, coming up through that 60 years, twice the doctor has informed my family that Barry would not make it out of the hospital.
Mm.
Well, by the grace of God, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Uh, and I always said that if I ever found anything that worked for me, then I will come out and talk about it. And now I belong to SCDI, which is Sickle Cell Association of Illinois, a very, very helpful support group. I
Mm.
met a bunch of great people in it, and there's some of the. My issue is there's some of the kids that's in the group that's on Oxbryta as well,
Mm.
but they're not taking it as prescribed, and they still get sick.
Oh yeah.
So, so my purpose for being here tonight is so we can get the word out that if you got something that's going to help you, which what we have, then you should be desperate to take it.
Yeah.
If it'll keep you out the hospital, to keep you from getting sick and going through the crisis pains that I've experienced in my life, dealing with sickle cell. It's been. I am very blessed. I
Mm.
have a 37-year-old daughter, a 33-year-old son, and a 15-year-old granddaughter. She wanted to be 17 so bad. Um, I mean, really. Um, she insists on she wants to drive and everything else, but that's another story for another time.
Well, that's
uh,
blessed.
I
You're
just
blessed. You are so
I,
blessed.
I do know this. I do know this because I've seen too many people, not make it to my age, or not even my granddaughter's age. Who living. I'm suffering with sickle cell.
Yeah.
So the fact that we have this tool in our toolbox, our spider, we should be just desperate to get it and desperate to use it. And everyone who has the opportunity to get it should get it and take it as their doctor prescribed.
Hmm.
It's an everyday therapeutic. It's not Tylenol, so it doesn't work today and you can skip it tomorrow. No, you take it every day. Every day. I
Hmm.
mean, I was telling Lena earlier today. I have my mother's 89 years old, and she has seen the difference in me in the last few years since I've been on this drug. It is. And I wish there was more of it being advertised on TV and mainstream news and everything pushed out there by
Yeah.
some of our celebrities or whoever, because I know there are some people in their families that has sickle cell and dealing with sickle cell as well. And
Yes.
if we could just try it, and be proactive about it, we can avoid a lot of children that has going to go through the things that we've gone through already.
Yes.
The organ breakdowns, the
Mhm.
ulcers. Lena, do you experience any ulcers? Have you ever experienced any ulcers?
I've never had an ulcer. I did have my gallbladder removed when I was in high school. I think high school. It might have even have been middle school, to be honest. It's such a
Yeah,
blur. That time period for me is such a blur because I was so ill.
yeah.
But prior to that surgery, them taking my gallbladder out, I had the worst stomach pain I experienced in my life. And when they went in, the surgery was successful, and they just said, it was completely calcified. And so I know that that is something that is very minor in comparison to other folks I know that are out here walking around with, double hip replacements, double shoulder replacements, and they're young. They're young because
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
young. You and I are young. Okay.
Right.
Tell it right. But Barry, I'm so glad that you can say that you have, that something has come along to show your mother that you are doing better. Like, I'm so glad that she's here to see that with her own eyes,
Yes, yes.
you know?
And we talked about the gallbladder. I lost around at probably about the age of 8.
Hmm.
I don't know what it is about it, but it seems like that's the first organ to get
They just
attacked.
go bad. Yeah. They just go
You know,
bad. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad you never experienced the leg
That
ulcers,
was
because
first.
I have experienced many of them.
Mm,
Believe me, they're horrible. They're painful. You
mm.
know, they're just, I mean, excruciating. Really, really, really
So tell
terrible.
us, for those of us that may be wanting to know more about, um, a leg ulcer, someone that may be outside of the sickle cell community that just doesn't know what it is that we're talking about. How does it begin? What are the symptoms? What's the
Look,
treatment?
let me tell you this here, okay? It comes on you so fast. Today you would start feeling a tingle. And when
Okay.
you feel that tingle, it is because your body is not getting the oxygen down in your ankles the way you need it.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm a really tall guy, so I don't know if that made a lot of difference or not. But I noticed, being in the sickle cell, groups now, I notice a lot of women never wear anything but pants. So
Mhm.
I'm sure they're dealing with some of the leg ulcers.
Yeah.
But a leg ulcer, when it could start today, and by Friday, you got a quarter size sore on your ankle.
Mm.
All right. It's no stopping it.
Mm.
And I cannot speak for everybody's therapy, but personally, the way I deal with it, is like I said, but since I've been on Oxbryta, I haven't had one.
Mhm.
And I've had some terribles. I'm talking about on the bottom of my brother, who I lost at the age of 44. He would get them as well. All right. We were real close, like a year and a half apart. Um, on the top of your foot, on the bottom of your foot, between your toes. And I'm talking, you can see almost to your bone. And the only way to really heal them up, in my opinion, is with saline, and pack the hole with gauze dipped in saline, and you get to pull the mucus out, and that helps heal them up. The hospital want to send you the wound treatment, and that didn't work for me. That's very painful, because they basically scrub you, to get it out, and that's like tortured me. And I found the best way for me to get it out is to pack the wound with saline, soaked in gauze, and pack that hole up, and it heals up like that. But like I said, since I've been on Oxbryta, let me tell you something. First of all, let me make this crystal clear. No one is paying me to say anything about Oxbryta.
Yes, I
Okay.
forgot to add our disclaimer. This is not a paid commercial, you guys. We do not have that going on here. This is simply us sharing what we like to call our testimonies, our stories,
Right.
because we're rare. The two of
Right.
us, we're very rare. So this is a privilege for me to meet someone else that has had a similar experience where I felt like I was just thrust out of my sick bed. For once, something worked, and it worked fast, and
Fast.
something worked,
Okay.
and it deliberately attacked my fatigue, my chronic fatigue, and my chronic pain. And so for you to have this, this aspect of this whole other aspect of a complication, such as a leg ulcer, my goodness, right? Thank you for your
Right.
testimony. People don't
Right.
understand that. Essentially, what's happening is your body is dying. You are
Dying. Yeah.
here, your
Right.
body in this area, this vulnerable space, like you said, that is lacking in oxygen, lacking in key nutrients, lacking in blood flow. That area is dying.
Right. And that means, I mean, I lost vision in my right eye. I had a detachment in my left eye. These are some of the things that's going to happen to you with sickle cell
Yeah.
if you don't get on some kind of therapy.
Mhm.
Um, the leg ulcers was something I was able to deal with, but when I lost vision in my right eye, and that affect my ability to drive, that really messed with me mentally.
Mhm.
Okay. Um, but the things that we talk about, the things we go through, you start having heart problems and lung problems,
Mhm.
and then it affects your kidneys and your spleen and everything else. But I just want to make it crystal clear. No one has paid me or will pay me to say what I'm saying. All right? I'm here saying what I'm saying because I want to help somebody else who's gonna go through what I'm going. if you don't get some kind of therapeutic help. And, you know, God bless them when they starts talking about their, their $2 million, what am I trying to say? Their, gene therapy, but that's not going to be for everybody because everybody don't have $2 million, you know. And plus, even at that, you got to be a perfect. It's got to be a perfect situation, you know. And I hope it works for a lot of people. I pray that it do. But what we have right now that's available to you, I highly recommend you try to get it. Beg your doctor for it. If your doctor gives it to you, use it the way that you're prescribed to be used. And I'm pretty sure you see a difference in your life.
You know what? I certainly will agree with you on that because I can attest to you know, being as regimented as I have ever been. I'm also a very you know, strict patient myself. I take my medicines every day at the same time every day. And I noticed that when I missed just 2 doses
Mm-hmm.
of my medicine, my pain ticked back up. It ticked
Yeah.
back upward. And it took me a minute and I thought, oh my gosh. And I feel like this was even after the first time that you and I met. And because I was so busy. I'm so like my work has exploded. Ever since I started taking Oxbryta 4 years ago, I have been on the move. So I have, you know, completely transformed my life. I tell people, like I said in my first video, nothing in this room here in my office, none of this was here. This room was empty. I had no hopes and dreams for this
Mm-hmm.
space. And then when I started taking the Oxbryta and I started feeling better, I guarantee you it was within a week. I could tell that I had more energy. I had no need for the pain medicines that I was taking every day, heavy doses of morphine,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the time release as well as the Percocet on top of that. Of course, I would be taking some sort of Tylenol, some sort of NSAID, and whatever else I could get my hands on because that's how deep and long my pain was. My pain was just thick and it just felt like it was constant.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Well,
once I started feeling better, my life took off because finally I could now, you know, get back to to some of my work and my purpose work.
yeah. And you know the thing of it is, I hear people talking about those pain medications. I'm on Tylenol, period. Okay, and every now and again, now I do still have a little pain, but it's not nothing that Tylenol can't handle.
Yeah.
So I don't have to ask for the narcotics.
Yeah.
I don't know what Dilaudid is.
Yeah.
I had never heard of it before I even like I said, joined Skadai.
Mm-hmm.
And but I do know kids much younger than me. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I have almost 30 years on Ulane. So
Yes.
I've been dealing with this for a long time. But those drugs, and the thing of it is, that's what's so great about it. I just yesterday went and saw my heart doctor. And she said, "Baby, whatever you're doing, keep doing it."
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's all. That's the best advice I can give you right now. And coming from seeing her every other month, now I see her every 4 months. You know, that's a difference right there. So I am, ecstatic about what has came into my life, the Oxbryta,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just reaching out. I'm on
Yes.
everybody who has what we have. They
Yes.
have an option. They have an option, and to use the choice, the option. Make the conscious choice to use it. And be strict about it for 6 weeks, and I bet you'll notice a difference in your life.
Yeah.
It's that's all I can say about it. I mean, that's my testimony. That's my testament. Like I said, if it hadn't came along in my life, you couldn't have paid me to be on here, and and you're not gonna pay me to be on here
I
anyway. But I
know.
don't, because it's not something I can accept. I'm just reaching back.
Yeah.
I'm doing I'm doing what I told God I would do. If
Yes.
you give me something, I'm
Yeah.
gonna stand on the soapbox and talk about
Yeah.
it. And so that's what I'm at. That's what I'm doing.
I
That's
love
my
that.
purpose.
I love
Yeah.
that. I'm so privileged to have you here, not only representing someone else who has had a positive Oxbryta experience, but also as a sickle cell, pioneer, as someone who has, offered themselves up and said, I'm going to try it, and at least see. That's all it takes to be a medical pioneer, is to say, I will try this, and a lot of us can't even get past that point to even being open-minded to try. And so, yes, having a sickle cell elder that I can, so easily access and converse with is a blessing in itself. So you've been blessed, by this experience, and so have I. But hey,
Exactly.
y'all, this was a completely 100% free testimonial. This is a
All right.
completely free testimonial, but we're happy that we could bring it to you. So I just want to say, before we even wrap up here, I don't want to keep you much longer, that we want to say a shout out to SCDI, that is the Sickle Cell Disease Association of Illinois. We want to say a shout out to the folks over at Pfizer and the other folks who have come and created this nugget, this golden nugget, to help people like myself and Barry here just live a life worth living. Thank you.
Amen. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone that wants to get in touch with us, just hit me up in the chat, send me a DM. If you want to talk about your Oxbryta experience, just send me a message. And I appreciate everyone for offering their time and attention just to hear some of the things that have happened. And we hope that everyone has heard the most important thing, which is take your meds on time every day, same time.
Yes. Give me that. Thank you so much, Lena.
Of course,
It's,
of
it's
course.
been my it's been my pleasure to be on here.
My
I hope we reach some people. I really do.
Oh, we will. I know we will. We put it out there. Listen, you have a great day tomorrow, and I'll see y'all soon with another video.
Okay.
Love
Bye.
you. Thank you.
All right.